not just psilocybin, but psychedelics in general, whether it's ayahuasca or ibogaine. But are you seeing kind of that start to shift too, as somebody that's baked in that culture? And do you think that's something that realistically the NFL could help support? Because there's a lot of in the military community, there's actually a lot of foundations now that are going or hopping on board and kind of supporting sending individuals, especially as they're transitioning, or somebody that's had something, maybe like a brain injury or something happen in their career, to these facilities, which stinks that a lot of times, or most of the time now, they have to be outside of the United States. But is that something you could see the NFL eventually getting on board with?
Sure, that would be really cool to see them get on board, but they're not going to lead the charge. But the players can, and certain individuals with the ability to step out and step in front of it and talk in a way that they are experienced and knowledgeable, and let people know. For us, we struggle at UMBO with functional mushrooms and psychedelics. People still think, oh, Jake Plummer, yeah, those he's selling us microdoses and psilocybin mushrooms. And like, no, I have a firm belief and understanding of them as the medicines that they are, and they're beautiful, beautiful medicine that have been used forever. And now they're coming out here now. And, you mentioned a lot in your question. And if I could, I met Marcus Capone, who works with Vet Solutions, and they're doing some amazing work with Governor Rick Perry and Brian Hubbard, and trying to get some clinical data behind ibogaine and its ability to reset your receptors for addiction therapy. And like, okay, I have a hard time with the way our world works, that we need to spend $10 million and collect all this data for 2 years. Well, how many people are going to die in that time from addiction, instead of just, yo, this works. If you're being called to it, where can I go to safely get this? Where can I go to get good information that's not driven by economics or capitalism, but it's driven by people's hearts and their souls, that want to help people that are struggling and fighting for their lives and their families and all this. And so, you mentioned players and players reaching out. I've had a lot of players reach out to me. Obviously, they know what I'm doing with functional mushrooms, and sometimes they're confused, as I think functional mushrooms play as much a part in this healing process as do psychedelics, because it's something you can do daily, and there's no illegalities, and they're accessible right away, and they're just good for your overall body and your wellness and the way your body functions. Throw in some psilocybin there for that conscious reset to become one with everything again. And the mix of the both can be a very powerful combo to put you on your path. As some of these guys you mentioned, I know the military vets go through the real deal. They're seeing things that people only see on movies. They're seeing it in real life. So they're dealing with like real life trauma coming out of serving for our country. And it's sad that they're medical refugees here in America. They have to go to Mexico to find this healing. And it should piss you off. If you care about a veteran and you say that about the vets, you should stand up right now and call your local government and say, what the hell are we doing? What is this? Why are we doing this to our soldiers who created the freedom in our country? Now they have to fly to Mexico. They're medical refugees in our own country. Like, there are people who are medical refugees in Indiana because they live in Indiana, and the laws there are still stuck with the Nixon era in the 70s of, these organisms, natural organisms, being listed as Schedule One, on the drug list. So players in the NFL come out of the game with a different things than veterans that have seen real life and death. We still have PTSD, we still have anxiety, depression, but some of these kids too played the game to push away traumas they experienced as young kids growing up. So, these psychedelics have a way to reset you, to make you go in and become okay with the traumas you've been through. And we're progressing in the right way. Where it goes, I don't know. Is it going to be legal? Is it going to be recreational? I think it's going to be therapeutic in a lot of ways. And I think that the players in this are going to be less about capitalizing and more about, hey, let's make sure we do this right for humans, for everybody in our country to have hope and faith that there is a solution out there. And if we can get to there, then things are good.